Ole Miss will kick it off in the 22nd all-time meeting between these two clubs. Actually, the Rebels lead this series 11-9-1. The last time that Florida came here to Oxford in 2002, they actually lost that football game. And in 2003, Ole Miss went back to Gainesville and won that one. Kickoff down to about the 13-yard line to James, who's out over the 30. He's got plenty of room. This has been a sore spot for the Rebels. And they open up today's game with poor kickoff coverage again, and Florida will set up shop at the 32-yard line.
That's a short kick to start off with, Dave, and Brandon James coming off a big return last week against Tennessee, really never touched until he finally gets up to the kicker. Let's go down to Dave Baker for more on the kick.
Hey, Dave, you know, Florida has done so much this year, but Urban Meyer not sure what to expect from this young team with this being their first road game. Earlier this week, he had a freshman come up to him and say, hey, Coach, it's a travel thing. Do we go day of the game? So he got the team up early at 6:30 this morning. He said he made sure they all had toothbrushes, but he's very anxious to see how they'll handle this first road test.
Well, they're off to a good start here, Buzz. A little inside handoff, gets about a yard or two to Kestahn Moore. Tebow, the sophomore quarterback out of Jacksonville, Florida, averaging 278 yards a game through the air. He has accumulated 835 this season, but it's his percentages are just off the charts, almost 74% in terms of completing his passes. 342 yards of total offense a game. A one-man show at times. Tebow up the middle, breaks a tackle down to the 25. That will set up a third down and about 5, maybe 4.5. Here's a look at that offense and a lot of playmakers.
Well, everything Percy Harvin averages 14.3 yards every time he touches the football, whether it's run or pass. He's one of the guys that Tebow will get the football to. And up front, Drew Miller. We talked about how hard Tebow works. Drew Miller is the same guy on the offensive line. Tremendous job of work. The one guy we won't see today, Bubba Caldwell, the injured wide receiver for Florida.
Yeah, Bubba was out running around before the game, getting some light sprints in. Looks good, but obviously they don't want to do anything to put him in jeopardy. And on third down, Percy Harvin drops the football. It was enough for the first down. Take a look at this Ole Miss defense quickly as they put up a good stand. Greg Hardy has been the playmaker.
He really has. Leads the SEC in sacks and tackles for loss for Ole Miss here. He really does a nice job. Ashley Palmer, he is the JC transfer linebacker that's all over the field, and Jamarcus Sanford leads the SEC in tackles. He is really a linebacker playing safety.
Here's Joey Ehas from 42 yards out. Joey 2 out of 2 on the year. A low line drive kick that is no good, and Ole Miss stands tall on their opening possession. After a solid return from Brandon James, sets up the football at about the 32-yard line. Florida cannot convert. Florida has yet to score on their first offensive possession in each of their 4 games this year. But they have found a way to average about 55 points a game, so I don't think that's really slowed them down too much. Here's a toss sweep to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Well, Mike Wallace is the guy on the outside, Dave, that's going to provide them some jump, some spark. He's probably the fastest football player on the team. He'll have a chance to make some plays. And Michael Orr, this is a guy you'll see play on Sundays for a long time. He is a big-timer at left tackle.
Seth Adams has really been impressive, Dave. His percentages are pretty high. Against Missouri, had a game over 300 yards.
What I like, Dave, is he takes care of the football. He understands what they're trying to do offensively. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis is his guy.
This time, Green Ellis tripped up, flag on the play at about the 35-yard line. Derek Harvey will get credit for that tackle if it does stand. And that will back Florida up. There's our referee, Matt Austin.
Going to get the hold on the left side of the screen.
Offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Tackle Derek Harvey. That might have been the big fella we were talking about.
Harvey still makes the play.
24-yard line.
There's Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator with the hat on. Second year here at Ole Miss. Came over from Miami when they kind of went through a tumultuous time, did the Hurricane program. But this offense clicking a lot better than it did a year ago. Adams stands tall in the pocket over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Out at the 43-yard line. Looking for the tight end, Robert Lane.
That's a good read by Seth Adams. Gets a little play action fake, which held the linebackers just a little bit. Allowed Robert Lane, the tight end, works up. You see the backers held just a little bit by the play action. And that's a catch Robert's got to make for his quarterback. You got to be able to pull these in. Have opportunities to make plays against this Gator defense. You got to make them.
Lane has 7 catches on the year for 63 yards. Here's a 3rd down and 11. Adams has time. Will now run it, and he'll be well shy of that 1st down. And this will be a punting situation for Ole Miss.
3-man route for Ole Miss this time, Dave, and Florida did a nice job of playing a zone coverage and took away the 2 throws that Seth Adams wanted. Really had only one option, was to tuck it under and see if he could get it himself, and Florida was able to rally up and keep him short.
Brandon James will be back to return the Justin Sparks punt. Sparks, the sophomore out of Memphis, Tennessee. James, of course, with a touchdown return on a punt last week against Tennessee. And that will stop rolling at the 28-yard line. So if nothing else, Ole Miss able to flip the field on Florida, trying to get his defense to play like they did in the first series when they held Florida to a missed field goal. The Gators back at the 28-yard line. Here's Tim Tebow rolling, hit hard as he throws, incomplete. Boy, he got popped by Marcus Tillman, the sophomore out of McCall Creek, Mississippi.
Little play fake in the backfield to try to freeze the rush. Tillman doesn't buy the play fake at all. And this is what you got to do if you're Ole Miss, is put Tebow on the ground, and Coach Orgeron loves it.
Tillman 6'4", 260 pounds. Out of the defensive end. They'll also move him a little bit inside to play some defensive tackle to use his quickness on the inside. Out of the shotgun. Here's the handoff to Hardy, and the other defensive end to Harvin, excuse me, as he's brought down by Hardy. Greg Hardy, perhaps the best athlete on this team at 6'5", 255.
Well, this is a testament to that, Dave. You talk about athleticism. There's nobody tougher to tackle in the open field than Percy Harvin. And Hardy ate him alive on that play.
Hardy with 28 stops on the year. Now 7 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks. 3rd down and 13. It's a keeper. Tebow to the 30, to the 35, but he needed to get to the 38-yard line. Tripped up by Brandon Thomas.
What an outstanding job, Dave, by this Ole Miss defense. Not intimidated whatsoever. Coach Orgeron has them ready to play. John Thompson, this defense ready to go. And I mean, the fear factor that the Gator offense puts in most teams when they step on the field, Ole Miss having none of it.
Chaz Henry, the true freshman out of Dallas, Georgia, will kick it away to Marshae Green. Green calls for a fair catch and is run into lightly, but still run into. And a flag is down. Looked like Chris Rainey might have just bumped him on a fair catch attempt. 45-yard punt by Henry. Let's go downstairs to Dave Baker.
You are absolutely correct, Dave Niels. We get the call from Matt Austin.
Kick-catching interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First up.
They were trying to come up and field the punt. They couldn't get to it, and so field position actually turns out well for the Rebels. Dave Archer, you know, we were talking about those young guys at the top and how they would react to being on the road. Florida had only given up 2 sacks all year. Both of those were at the hands of Troy, but then here in this one series, they give up 2 sacks on the series as well, not handling that blitz package from Ole Miss well at all.
No, it looked like they're a little fish-eyed right now. They're going to have to settle into the game.
It'll be first down and 10. Ole Miss at the 41-yard line. Little play action. Got the whole defense moving in one direction. Has a man wide open, but the throw is late and behind Marshae Green. It hit Tony Joyner. That play was wide open.
Dave, you called it. It's late. Makes a great play fake. The Florida defense flows. He's got to let it go much sooner than he does. And then Joyner just gets in front of him and essentially screens him with his body. He's got no idea where the ball is. But Seth Adams is late, Dave. You called it exactly. If he comes out of the play fake, sets his feet and shoots it, he's got a chance for a big
touchdown.
Play.
There's nobody back there. And you know how many times you're going to have that opportunity in a game against Florida? Maybe once or twice. Out of the I formation, second down and 10. Here's the handoff to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He'll pick up 5 on the play. Brandon Spikes, the middle linebacker, with the stop. Take a look at this defensive group for the Gators. Very young, lost 9 starters from a year ago, but this group kind of coming together nicely.
Yeah, Jermaine Cunningham is that counter opposite on the other side of Derek Harvin. Everybody talks about Derek Harvin getting after the passer. And this young linebacker core, Brandon Spikes, all he does is he's around the football all the time. And the secondary, young Joe Hayden, a true freshman playing corners, done an outstanding job of locking one side of the field down.
Third down and 6. Here comes Joyner on a blitz. Ole Miss picks it up. Pass is caught out at the 34-yard line by Michael Hicks, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. First down, Rebels.
As late as we saw the first pass, Dave, this one comes out on time and is perfect. Outstanding job. Gets the ball to Michael Hicks, working on Darian Monroe, but the ball came out on time, well before Hicks comes out of the break. And I'll tell you what, the Ole Miss team right now, there's a little bit more blood flowing right now than before the game. They're excited.
18-yard pickup, first down inside the 35-yard line. Here's Green Ellis. Second down and 9 after the short gain by Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis. Slant pattern to Shea Hodge is caught. That'll be close to the first down. Depends on where the nose of the football is, but he's inside the 25. Joe Hayden on the coverage.
Dave, what's happened is Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator here for Ole Miss, has got Seth Adams in a little bit of a rhythm. And the ball's coming out on time. He's getting his feet set. He's throwing. The offensive line's doing a nice job of preventing penetration. And there's a little comfort zone their quarterback's in right now. And that could spell some trouble for this young Gator defense.
Third down and inches. Fullback is Jason Cook. He'll lead the way for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and I don't know if he got it, but a flag is down on the near side. That might get, it's usually one of those, see it quite a bit, defense lining up in the neutral zone. Or maybe early movement by the offensive line.
Offside. Defense, 91.
Will lead the line.
5-yard penalty. Results in
And
first down.
Urban Meyer, one of the concerns has been the fact that this team is the most penalized group in the SEC to this point of the season. Stay tuned. Coming up, we'll have a look at the Firehouse Subs home field advantage. Dave, this is a team that puts up 55 points a game. Okay, how much of a concern are penalties?
Well, I think it's a huge concern, certainly on the road, when you start talking about this team trying to adjust to the nuances of what that presents for a young team. Shooting yourself in your foot creates problems they're not used to.
Little razzle-dazzle that is, well, it had some razzle, but it had no dazzle.
Well, nice job by Joe Hayden, because Joe shoots in off the edge to make the play on Marshae Green. Marshae Green.
By number 3, Kyle Johnson of Florida. Also back to the 29-yard line.
Joe Hayden shoots in off the corner spot to make the play. He just followed the receiver inside on the reverse. Nice play by the freshman.
Ole Miss, the worst SEC team in the red zone in terms of opportunities. Knocking on the door of that 20-yard line. Second down and 19.
Complete on the play, number 3, Shea Hodge.
Shea Hodge will move it down to the
number 12, Joe Hayden.
22-yard line. Joe Hayden with another tackle. Seth Adams has been impressive for this guy. They opened up the quarterback job in the fall, actually last January, and told the guys, hey, this thing's wide open. This is not just Brent Schaefer's deal. And Seth Adams came in and managed this offense very well. Dan Warner, the offensive coordinator, said it wasn't anything flashy that Seth did. It just felt like everybody was more comfortable with him under center, and it's paid off. Nearly 60% completion rate. We'll lob it up here, looking to the corner of the end zone. That pass is incomplete. A big hit in the secondary from Kyle Jackson. Pass intended for Mike Wallace. But Ole Miss will now bring out their field goal unit.
Wallace is the home run player here, and this is a fade route versus bump and run coverage. Joe Hayden is right there on the coverage, and then Jackson comes over to make sure that there's no completion. Let's go down to Buzz Baker.
Hey, Dave, you said it absolutely right. You got to give Jackson credit for that, because I think Wallace could have came down with that ball, but Jackson closed and made sure it didn't happen.
40-yard attempt on the way, off the foot of Joshua Sheen, and it is good. And Ole Miss with an early 3-0 lead over the Florida Gators here in the first quarter. 9 plays, didn't move the football very far, but 4.5 minutes off the clock. They do get 3 points. That's exactly what Ed Ogeron wants, is some points and chew up some of that clock. Joshua Sheen to kick it off. It's a line drive, bouncing around, fielded at about the 13 by Brandon James. James behind his blockers with another big return. This happened last week to the Ole Miss club against Vanderbilt. The Commodores opened up nearly every drive when they returned a kick out near midfield. There is a flag down.
Penalty marker on the play.
During the return, holding 93 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
One quick stat, I don't know what it means, but every team that scored first, every SEC team that has taken a lead in a game has gone on to win it. Here's Harvin. He falls forward to the 35, first down. Greg Hardy on the coverage.
Boy, Ole Miss comes with a blitz. They're bringing Cassius Vaughn. The corner comes off the backside, and he gets away with what I would call a spear in the middle of the back of Tim Tebow. That was a late hit that they got away with.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by IKBI Incorporated. IGBI, building vision, building relationships. First down and 10, 4-man front for Ole Miss. Whistles and a flag down in the middle of that line of scrimmage. But this is another penalty on Florida. Urban Meyer is already walking out to the field. I think he's seen enough of the yellow flags.
63 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Remember, Dave, first time on the road. Young guys in the line. Remember, this line got shaken up the first week of the season. The veteran Troutwine out. They've had to slide Watkins left tackle. Metter slides from guard to tackle. So a lot of first time they've really had to deal with an opposing team's crowd noise.
That is 4 penalties against Florida. Here's Tebow on a keeper to the outside. Nowhere to go. Tony Fine runs him out of bounds.
Well, Tony Fine will get credit for the tackle, but it's Greg Hardy, the defensive end. Slow plays it. There he is right there. He's going to slide to the outside and just allow the linebacker to come up and make the play, Jamie Phillips.
That was Jamie Phillips, the sophomore out of Oxford, Mississippi, that runs him out of bounds. That'll bring up a second down and 12. Crowd making some noise. Tebow slings it to Harvin at the 40. He makes the catch, but that is well shy of the first down. Phillips with his second tackle in a row.
Nice job of Ole Miss making Tebow reload. You'll see pump fake. He wanted Ingram right over the ball. He had to swivel his head to the outside and found Harvin. Jamie Phillips puts the lick on Harvin to make it third down.
And Harvin makes the catch at the 47-yard line, and that will be good enough for a first down. Brandon Thomas on the coverage.
Ole Miss doing a good job playing zone, making Tebow work the underneath throws. He finds Harvin. Harvin does a nice job of reading the zone, hooking up in the hole, and Brandon Thomas makes the tackle for Ole Miss. But a nice job, Ole Miss trying to make Florida go the long way. Don't give them the explosion plays.
Brandon James in, the 5'6", 180-pound sophomore. And he will get the handoff off the left side. James tripped up at the 41-yard line of Ole Miss.
Tackle for the Rebels. 24 passes on.
Option to the right side, and Kestahn Moore is brought down by Dustin Mouzon. Mouzon, 5'11", 175, 21 tackles on the year.
Well, play the option. You've got to whip the block to the outside, and Faison's going to block to the outside. See, the pitch is there. You've got room, but Mouzon wins against the receiver to the outside and takes the pitch back away. That's an outstanding play by the corner.
Second and 15 for Florida.
5 receivers for the Gators on a second down and 15. Tebow fires a slant over the middle. Pass is caught by David Nelson, but that gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Chris Strong, the middle linebacker, at 6'2", 280, making the play.
Dave, so far what we've seen, or what we haven't seen, is Florida run after the catch. That's something they're superior on across the board with their players, but Ole Miss is doing a nice job of limiting the play after the catch.
Closing in on 1 minute to go here in the opening quarter. On a third down and a short 10. Pass is caught at the 32-yard line, but he needed to reach the 30. Percy Harvin with yet another grab. Brandon Thomas on the coverage. They're playing some solid defense against this athletic offensive group.
Very disciplined, Dave. They're staying in their zones, keeping everything in front of them, and then there is, just like we talked about a second ago, no run after the catch. They're on the hit. They talked about, we talked to the staff yesterday, they talked about how poorly they tackled them the first couple of weeks. Doing an outstanding job. John Thompson's group tackling at the highest level right now, and that's something he was very concerned about coming in.
Fourth down and 2. The Gators going for it. Tebow, quick pass near side. Harvin one-on-one. Stays on his feet to the 20. Dancing around. First down Florida at the 18-yard line. As slippery as they come in college football.
Well, this had to have been a formation that Ole Miss had never seen in films, because they get Harvin to the outside, and whenever Percy Harvin is lined up outside, you certainly don't want somebody playing off on him. You better be up, bump, and run. They got the ball to Harvin with a lot of room to run, and he broke a tackle.
Stays on his feet. Boy, an electrifying player. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Florida moving the football. And they have done a nice job today trying to slow down that man's offense. Dan Mullen, the offensive coordinator of the Florida Gators. Little throwback to Harvin. Nice grab. He's at the 10. The 5, touchdown. Oh my, can this guy play the game of football? Electrifying.
Something we hadn't seen yet, Dave, was a little misdirection. Showed a little run play one way, came back with the screen back the other way. Something I don't think, this is another wrinkle that Dan Mullen's pulled out that I don't think they've seen on film. Ole Miss caught by surprise. And Harvin, if you get him in the open field, there is nobody more dangerous.
And few are more exciting. Point after, up and good. Third touchdown catch of the year for Percy Harvin. That's the 9th touchdown pass from Tim Tebow. Percy Harvin, folks, he is something special. I mean, this and what they did last week to Tennessee offensively, I think shocked everybody in the country. I mean, that was an amazing performance.
No question about it. It was working on all cylinders. Yeah, that's why you got to credit Ole Miss's defense the way they played here in the first quarter.
Marshae Green will take this kickoff. He's got some room. Green to the 40, to the 45, and brought down at the 46-yard line. Nice return by Marshae Green. Florida had the majority of the possession time, 8:24, but pretty balanced. And that's really a tribute to this Ole Miss defense to this point. Here's Adams. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis to the 46-yard line. Coming into this game, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis had carried the ball 77 times. Ole Miss had only rushed it 99 times as a team. There's a flag down.
Incidental face mask. Defense 19. 5-yard penalty end of the run. First down.
Well, this is one of those, he's a classic running back that I don't think anybody gets stronger during a game, but he has the ability to wear down the other side of the football. And he's one of those guys that does that. You saw the face mask at the end of the play. And now Ole Miss at the Florida 41 with a first down.
Out of the I formation. Bruce Hall getting some action today, but they'll play action and go to the fullback, Jason Cook, who will pick up the first down. Cook, 6 feet tall, 240 pounds, meeting up with Tony Joyner.
Only his second catch of the season. Get a nice job of play calling, get the play fake to the inside. You've had some success running the football and get the ball Cook to the outside. And Cook was the hammer and Joyner was the nail on that one.
Talking to Dan Warner, the offensive coordinator, we were asking about the backs catching the ball, and he says, you know, we don't throw to the backs a lot. We got to keep them in to help protect, and I think Florida might have seen that too, but they snuck Cook out with a nice little reception. Nothing happening for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis has the football.
13:40 to go here in the second quarter. Urban Meyer was very concerned about this road game. A lot of people felt that this game didn't set up well, that Florida had a chance to come in here and have an easy go of it, but not that man. He understood traveling on the road in the SEC is never an easy thing. You don't know how young players are going to react. And they've been hit with some early penalties. But they have been dominant against their opponents to this point. Ole Miss has found a way to slow them down. Seth Adams. Pass caught. Marshae Green breaks a tackle and fumbles the football out of bounds, but they will say it's just inside the 20, and that'll be close to the first down marker. Major Wright over there on coverage for the Gators.
Good decision by Adams to get the ball out in the flat quickly, give Green an opportunity to shake this tackle of Joyner, and he does that and gets up the field. Adams swivels his head to the outside. It's a weak flood. You got 3 receivers on the left side of the field, deep, middle, and short. He took the short throw, and then Green does a nice job of shedding the tackle and getting up the field. The quarterback is doing a nice job of getting the football out on time, picking the right guy, and guys are making plays once they get the ball in their hands.
You know, we had that one play, that little rollout, kind of, and was late getting the pass out. And I think that might have been a little bit of a wake-up call for Seth.
Yeah, since then he's been solid, hasn't he?
This Ole Miss offense, a little different look than last year. Brent Schaefer got some action last game when Seth Adams went out. Schaefer 1 out of 5, had a 54-yard touchdown pass, but that was his first pass, and then missed on his next 4. And Vanderbilt came up a little bit, or excuse me, Ole Miss came up a little bit short in Nashville. Seth Adams doesn't look like that shoulder bothering him at all. Robert Lane checks in, the tight end, former quarterback, and now a flag comes down, some movement. So any surprise element is taken away by the flag. But Robert Lane, we were told, will move back and take some snaps, Tebow-ish, if you will.
I think that's exactly what you're looking
at. 71 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You're looking at a run package with Lane coming in the game at quarterback, played some quarterback early in his career here at Ole Miss. And he's a guy that's a big guy that can run with the football. But you're right, Dave, you lose that element of surprise at the first time you get him in the game, somebody jumps offside.
You know, it's got to be frustrating. You work, put a new package in, surprise element, and you get a guy that jumps off sides. The Gators came very close to giving that 5 back. Bruce Hall in at tailback. Cook is your fullback. Here's Hall. He can't shed 4 white jerseys. Jermaine Cunningham led the way, the sophomore out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, with his first stop today.
Florida trying to gang up against the run, Dave. There's 8 men around the line of scrimmage that time, and it looked like maybe Seth Adams might be checking to a play action, take a shot down the field, but went to the off tackle play, the zone play to the outside, the fullback leading, and Florida's got too many people around the football.
That was an interesting conversation with Coach Warner talking about he needs his quarterbacks to kind of think like he does, when to take shots, when not to force it.
Yeah, the classic example of managing a game, understanding down and distance situations, knowing when the shot to take on first down and when to get a first down on third down.
They're going for a shot here to the corner of the end zone. Pass batted around and incomplete. Looking for Shea Hodge. Joe Hayden over there, the freshman, the true freshman out of Fort Washington, Maryland.
Nice job of Major Wright, the freshman safety. Also, Dave, getting into the play. Just a corner route versus the 2 deep. Nobody threatens Joe Hayden in the flat, so he can continue to sink at the corner spot, and then the 2 freshmen. I mean, how about that? You get 2 true freshmen right there making that play. Major Wright, the safety, Joe Hayden, the corner.
How about Major Wright coming in? It took 4 games, and he has inserted himself as a viable starting option at safety over a senior in Kyle Jackson. Matter of fact, against Tennessee, Major Wright played really well according to the coaches. Pass caught near side, pushed out of bounds at the 15 is Marche Green. Wandy Pierre Louis. Take a look at the red zone for this Ole Miss offense. Only 4 touchdowns in 11 appearances. That's about 36%. That is dead last in the SEC. That red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience.
But that goes right back to what you were talking about with Dan Warner and his quarterbacks making the decisions. Now that completion puts them in a situation where they can get 3 here and they don't force it into coverage.
Joshua Sheen from 32 yards out. It splits the uprights. So Ole Miss with a nice drive. Brandon James, a couple of nice kickoff returns. One was called back on a holding call against Florida. Little line drive kick, bouncing out of bounds. And this begs the question now, it goes back to the question, do you back them up 5, have them re-kick because they've been so poor in that department, or do you take it at the 35?
Absolutely. I think you back them up and make them kick it again.
I mean, when you asked Coach O about this kick coverage team, he just shook his head.
Well, you made a suggestion. Hey, why don't you just kick the line drive?
5-yard penalty. Repeat the kick.
One guy that's been outstanding today has been Percy Harvin with 6 catches, 65 yards. And when he gets his hands on the football, he is so hard to stop.
Well, we talked about, Dave, his touches, 14.3 yards per touch, but he's really kind of done yeoman work today. Brought his lunch pail, caught all the balls underneath until the touchdown catch where he caught the little screen and got in the end zone. Did a nice job of just kind of keeping the drive alive for Tim Tebow, catching the ball underneath.
Look at the weapons offensively. I mean, the talent pool in terms of playmakers is amazing. And, you know, of course, Riley Cooper wasn't in there. He just didn't have the number of catches, but his quality of catches.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. Tebow's got 5 receivers that have caught a pass of over 35 yards.
Oh, James might have touched that, and then he will fall down at the 2. What was he thinking?
Panicked. Young man panicked.
Well, now the Gators are backed up. How about this? Back at the 2-yard line. They had a drive, a touchdown drive against Tennessee last week that started very similar to this. Tebow out to about the 8.5-yard line. Dustin moves on, able to make the tackle and give Florida some breathing room.
Boy, that's a nice tackle by Mouzon, because Tebow slid out of the pocket to his right and there was nobody there. Mouzon wraps him up and kind of hangs onto the bull till they can get him to the ground.
You know, they had 5 touchdown drives of over 50 yards or more last week against Tennessee.
I don't think they're affected by where the football is. It's just a matter of their execution has not been to their level so far.
Out to about the 13 as Tebow grinds it out.
You talk about this Ole Miss defense and how well they played to this point, Dave. We talked to Coach O yesterday, Coach Ogeron, and he talked about they've got to get the perfect fits. This is a one-gap defense, which means the front 7 up front are responsible for one gap, where they're moving one way or the other defensively. And if those guys don't fit perfectly, there's a hole created. They're doing an outstanding job. John Thompson's group doing a nice job of fitting versus the run and making sure they take care of their responsible gaps.
4-man front by the Rebels. Tebow, keeper again. Bouncing around and driving out to the 20-yard line. Out to the 21. Tebow, 6'3", 235 pounds. A sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida, has really become the complete quarterback and the perfect match for this spread option offense. As you look at some of the scores around the country today.
Number 11 on the tackle, Ashley Palmer.
I saw Syracuse up 21-7 over Louisville.
Ball at the 21-yard line. Second down and 3 yards to go for the Gators.
Second and short for Florida. Here's Harvin. Dancing around. Picks up the first down on a gain of 6. Marcus Tillman chases him down. 3rd stop for Tillman.
I love the way this offensive running game evolves. This is just the old classic counter play. Used to be back in the 80s. The Redskins used to call this the counter trade. Just pull a couple of linemen out in front. It's a play that every offense who runs the football successfully runs, and this is one that they had not shown up to this point this season.
It's a different looking formation.
Back lined up a little bit deeper, allowing the counter to take place.
Tebow. Did he let go of the football before he got out of bounds? I don't believe so. He got hit pretty hard on that far sideline.
Brandon Jenkins in pursuit from the defensive line spot, trying to wall him off. And yeah, he got rid of the football before he stepped out of bounds.
Dangerous throw. It'll be second down and 10.
Second and long, something Florida has not faced all year long.
And a whistle.
Timeout, Florida. Their first time out of the half.
Second down and 10 after the timeout taken by Florida. Gators will hand it off to Moore. He's got a big hole left side to the 40, to the 44-yard line. First down, Florida.
Again, Dave, a situation where Florida's showing misdirection. Again, they show a play to the right, counter back to the left side. Kestahn Moore carrying a football. Rutledge gets out in front on the block. There's the block right there that frees him up. Rutledge Kestahn Moore gets into the secondary.
Florida started this drive back at their own 2-yard line. Look at the rushing yards today, 67 by Florida. Tebow will throw here. It's batted back, incomplete.
Well, if you don't get any pass rush, Dave, you're told to get your hands in the air as a defensive lineman. Able to bat that ball down, trying to hit that little short crossing route. Ole Miss playing at a high level, Dave, on defense right now.
That offensive line, they've had to kind of reorganize some things really since the opener with Phil Troutwine, their left tackle, went out with a stress fracture. Now Marquise Pouncey also bothered, the freshman guard. Here's James around that far side. So this is an offensive line that has some experience, but yet they do have to play, you know, the true freshman and a guy like Pouncey, but they've been pretty good this year.
Yeah, and it's a mentality, Dave, they established that, you know, we're a power running team. Everybody thinks we spread it out and we throw it all over the yard, and they do have some success throwing it to the tune of 286 a game, but you know what? They hit you for 235 running the ball, too, and that's really their mentality. We want to come off and mash you running the ball.
Third down and 1. This is one of those mashing type of downs.
Got a little confusion. Tebow referring to the wine list on his left wrist, which is the play call list.
And Florida will have to take a timeout.
Timeout, Florida. Their second timeout of the half.
Couple of tight ends. Tebow just right up the middle of that line. Picks up about 4. That'll be a first down. They'll actually move his spot back to about the 43-yard line. Ray Jerry with the stop.
Just going to run in behind his big center, Drew Miller. Drew Miller does a nice job of turning the defender right over the ball. And that's all Tebow does, is hit it straight up the middle to get the first down.
There's John Thompson, the defensive coordinator. Former head coach in college football, long time defensive guru, if you will, been around. Tebow will throw, a little wobbly pass. Looking for Percy Harvin. For more on John Thompson, let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker.
Dave, you know John Thompson, for people that are familiar with him, 24 years he's been in college coaching, 10 different schools. He said he came here, quote, to help out Bebe Ogeron, and he's known Ed for a long time. But the thing that Thompson said was they went back to spring practice this week in terms of looking at film, in terms of tackling. He said this group has not done a good job with things they have not seen, but they came out ready to play today, and I think Dave Archer, they've done an awfully nice job of adjusting.
They really have, and they've created some problems for Tebow. Tebow's not in his normal settled situation.
Here's Harvin, though. It's apparent where Florida wants to go with the football today, and that is Percy Harvin. Tebow has completed 8 of 13 passes for 83 yards. He has 39 yards rushing, but Harvin is slow to get up.
Do a nice job, just a quick stand-up, throw it out to Harvin on the outside, and Percy got turned around. It looks like he might have fallen on the football here too. Ball right under his stomach as he fell to the ground. Good job of blocking downfield by Murphy, Lewis Murphy. See, watch him fall on the ball right there.
How about 7 catches already with 8:22 to go in the second quarter for Percy Harvin? God. Traveling around the SEC. Out of the shotgun, Tim Tebow, first down and 10. Another rush by Tim Tebow, and this time he picks up about 9, close to the 20-yard line. Dave, there is nothing complex about that at all. I mean, that is just a snap, Tebow off left guard. I mean, is it as simple as that?
It really is, Dave. It's just power running, get in behind the big offensive line and let Tebow kind of pick his daylight, run to daylight, if you will. He's a big, strong runner, and they got a great big offensive line. Just come off and add on a hat.
Of course, he had a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown against Memphis back in week 1.
Moves on, trying to get in on the tackle there. Number 12 comes in. Looked like maybe one of his own players came in and laid a lick on him.
It looks like just maybe a little head-to-head contact. Maybe that head got jerked in an awkward direction.
Looked like Jamarcus Sanford came in and might have hit Muzan as hard as he hit Tebow.
Harvin checks back in for Florida as Muzan jogs off the field. Well, he is back in the lineup for Florida. James in motion near side. Tebow by himself in the shotgun. Here comes some pressure. Tebow hit as he throws. They have James near side. Look at him dance around to the 10-yard line. First down, Florida at the 9.
Hey, perfectly defensed. You've got a defender out there. He just misses the tackle. You got Brandon James in the flat. Kedrick Lewis misses the tackle. That's the 5th missed tackle by this Ole Miss defense, and that's really what they're planning on. They're gambling on the fact you're going to miss Brandon James in the open field. 2 missed tackles on that play. Nice job of taking away the downfield throw. You got what you wanted. Now you got to make the tackle.
That's 5 missed tackles by this Ole Miss defense. And that is something the coach has told us for the Rebels, that they cannot afford those today. They've got to play near perfect football. Tebow and a little keeper dancing around to the 5, down to the 3. Touchdown, Florida!
Tim Tebow scores for Florida.
Boy, how strong is this kid? Does an outstanding job with a little sidestep in the hole. Going to come right to you. Watch his little sidestep right there. He found the hole. And that's Sanford coming up, and he just runs right through Jamarcus Sanford's tackle. We talked to Ed Orgeron and his staff. They talked about how you tackle Tim Tebow. He said, go low. Do not try to tackle him high. Well, Sanford found that out. He tried to go high, and Tebow ran him right into the end zone.
That is the 6th rushing touchdown this year for Tim Tebow, who now has 56 yards on the ground. 3rd-ranked Florida over Ole Miss. Just over 7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Kickoff sails down to the 2-yard line. Marche Green on the return for Ole Miss, out to the 25-yard line.
This is an opportunity for them to try to regain some of the balance of the game.
Toss sweep near side. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis to the 35 and run out of bounds, close to the first down marker. Major Wright, the 205-pound true freshman out of Miramar, Florida, with the tackle.
Once again, when you do the eye toss, your fullback's got to get it done for you. In this offense, the tailback follows the fullback on this play. Good job by Cook to get the block, but a lot of these zone plays, Dave, we talked to this offensive group, Dan Warner and the offensive group here at Ole Miss. The fullback runs the play as if he's carrying the football, and then he finds the different colored jersey, and that's the block he gets, and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis runs off of that.
6 carries, 32 yards for Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Out of the I formation. He'll take it to the 39, does Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. First down for Ole Miss.
This is what they needed, Dave. They come out and reestablish themselves physically here. Come back out, get back to what they do best, run the football. Again, another nice block by Cook, the fullback. And now you move the chains. You continue to work the clock. I think if you're a quarterback, I don't think it's ever too early against Florida to where you start working the clock every play.
I formation again. A little play action this time. Adams rolls right, has time, firing. Pass is caught on that far side. Michael Hicks with the reception. And that'll be a first down. But that's what that running game gives you, the opportunity to use a lot of play action.
Exactly right. They get the boot off of it, Dave. And this is a well-thrown ball and an outstanding route by Hicks. He turns Wande Pierre-Louis completely around. It's the deep comeback route, which gives the quarterback time to get outside, break, contain. That route's about a 20-yard route. Well-thrown ball and an outstanding route by Hicks to turn Pierre-Louis' hips around.
It looks like a pretty good, easy throw for a quarterback. Did you like that one? Was that always a good throw for you, the rollout?
I always liked when I was outside and the big guys couldn't get to me.
Jarvis Green Ellis will get a couple of yards on that. Joe Hayden steps up from his corner spot to make a tackle for Florida. Take a look at our Firehouse Subs home field advantage. Look at some of the largest crowds here in history at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. Of course, the stadium expanded a few years ago. I like to call it the addition that Eli built.
It's a beautiful stadium.
They have really done a wonderful job here. Pete Boone, the athletic director, and of course Chancellor Robert Kayette. By the way, happy birthday to Pete Boone. Told me he was 37 today. I don't believe him. Here's Adams again. Pass is dropped by Marche Green.
Got what they wanted. They got Florida to come with some pressure, be able to get the ball out quickly. The ball floated a little bit right here on Adams. The ball, you see his sail a little bit, float a little bit. Green had to wait on the ball, and he could feel Joyner closing.
Oh, but you got to make that catch.
No question about it. But you see the little peek to the inside. He knew the handhunter was coming for Florida.
Loose football out on the field. See that in baseball. Don't see that too often in football. Ole Miss has really done a nice job. I think Dan Warner, the offensive coordinator, has called a pretty good game today. Adams. He will be dropped. Ole Miss quarterbacks between Adams and Schaefer last week were sacked 6 times, but that's the first time today.
Well, this time they step up the pressure a little bit and play man coverage behind it. Jermaine Cunningham is going to get to the quarterback, ultimately number 49, to get the sack. Does a nice job, but it's the coverage down the field that made Adams hold the football. Wandy Pierre-Louis took away the throw that Adams wanted, that deep in cut. He just had no chance because of the coverage, and Jermaine Cunningham is the benefactor with the sack.
Brandon James back to return the punt of Justin Sparks. He stands inside the 10. He will let it hit at the 15. It'll take an Ole Miss bounce, and boy, that nearly hit Chris Rainey in the back leg. That would have been a tough break for Florida. Here's first down and 10 for the Gator offense. It just went 98 yards on their last drive. Tebow has all day to throw. Harvin on the near side, dancing around, bouncing around. He's got plenty of room on the far side if he can get a couple of blocks, but flags are down. And Harvin out to the 30-yard line. But there were a couple of flags that came in right at the same spot.
During the run, blocking the back, 56 offense. Half the distance to the goal from the flag. Repeat first out.
Well, you see that happen so many times in a scramble situation like that.
Yeah, the play is designed to go this way, and he gets all the way to the backside. But how about the drive that we just saw, Dave? Brandon James makes the mistake, and then it was just a matter of getting back to what they do, come after the running game, power running game. And then when we talked about the short passing game, James gets the catch in the flat, and then Tebow with the power to run through the Sanford tackle for the touchdown. They just got back to really kind of nuts and bolts, so we're just going to come right at you with the running game.
They will set up at the 8-yard line on the 1st and 15. Pass is tipped, it's in the air. Nate Banks just couldn't turn around quickly enough to respond to that. Ashley Palmer with the tip Tebow pass.
Yeah, wanted to try to get the ball to Lewis Murphy on the post route. This is a timing route. Shoot it. He kept the center and kept the safety in the middle of the field, but Ashley Palmer off the ground to knock that down. That's a timing route. You saw Tebow's eyes locked on the safety. As soon as he kept him in the field, he shot it out there.
Tebow gets a signal from the sidelines to change the play. Play clock at 3. Tebow will keep it. He's to the 15. That is well shy of the first down.
Tebow on the carry for the Gators.
Jeremy Garrett, the nose tackle, steps up to make that tackle.
On tackle number 47, Tony Fine.
Go to Yahoo Sports to see over 50 Lincoln Financial Sports SEC football and basketball games, and for only $4.95 per month, you can hear thousands of audio broadcasts. Be sure and follow your team all season long at Yahoo Sports.
It's a great opportunity here for Ole Miss to try to get this Florida offense off the field, give themselves a short field.
Tebow stands in the pocket, throws behind, facing, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
He wanted Faison to set it down right there. Faison kept running through, and you see the two young men getting together and talking there on the field. Tebow wanted his receiver to set it down, but again, nice job. Ole Miss dropped 8 into coverage, clouded the look for the young quarterback, and he threw the ball a little off balance and behind his receiver.
Jazz Henry will have to punt it away again for Florida. Marche Green back to return. He stands at the 37. Good kick from Henry. Fair catch called for and taken by Marche Green at the 33-yard line, a 51-yard punt. Little trickery coming from Ole Miss, and it works. Marche Green, and flags come in. A face mask coming, but a little trickery from Ed Ogeron.
The old hidden ball trick here. The line stands up so Florida can't see what's going on in the backfield. And then Marche Green comes out. Adams takes the snap and just sticks it in Green's stomach. And he gets around the edge, and then you get the face mask attack on top of that. But you can see how the offensive line stood up, and then it's just a sweep to the left side. But Seth Adams took the snap. Both he and Marche Green were bent over. He stuck the ball in his stomach and came around the corner. Something you see on a Friday night.
So a personal foul face mask will move the ball into Florida territory at the 32 with 2:40 to go before halftime. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis in at tailback. But Adams will throw. Pass caught near side. Shea Hodge breaks a tackle, then gets popped. Loose football. I think it's out of bounds. Who will have possession? I think it'll still be Ole Miss football. Yes. Florida had a chance, but couldn't contain it before it went out of bounds. And that will result in a first down.
Well, first of all, it's a nice job of gearing down to catch the football. It's a little behind him. Then he gets up the field, and here comes Major Wright. Wow, shades of...
Ball was held by the runner. Forward
Shades of the guy who used to play that position, Renzi Nelson. You see the legs are out of bounds, and once he's touched the ball and the leg's out of bounds, it is out of bounds.
That's a second forced fumble today by Major Wright. Coaches told us they love him. Great athlete, guy that loves to hit. I mean, he is the prototypical safety over the years for this Gator defense.
Boy, they've had a few good ones, haven't they?
They lost, of course, secondary last year. Lost guys like Reggie Lewis, Reggie Nelson, Ryan Smith, but they've got some young guys that can play in that secondary. Adams. Hodge again near side. There's one of those young guys, Joe Hayden, working on the coverage for Florida. 5 tackles now for Hayden. Take a look at our Honda Generator red zone. This is Florida defensively. They've only given up 3 touchdowns and 10 opponent opportunities. That's a pretty good figure. You got to like that if you're Greg Madison and Charlie Strong, the co-defensive coordinators.
This is where you got to get back to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He's got to run the football a little bit down here.
They'll play action to Green Ellis. Adams running, throwing to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Michael Hicks.
It was a nice job. They wanted the same play that he completed earlier, where he rolled to his right and found Hicks on that comeback, but Major Wright flying out of the center of the field kind of prevented that throw. Now Warner, this is a situation where all you're trying to do is get a first down here. Trying to create some type of matchup. You got to figure Florida's probably going to play man coverage. Get Mike Wallace or somebody one-on-one. Wallace is in the slot to the top of the screen. He's right up here. Be a good guy to try to get the ball to.
And whistles. Flag on the inside. Michael Orr, the junior, pops up, and it's when he pops up, you know it. 6'5", 325. You can't hide.
False start. 71 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Oh, and you just can't have it, though, Dave. Those are mistakes that, you know, you go from 3rd and 4, and you got everything available. Run the football, all sorts of stuff. And you just cannot pop out of your stance. You got to hold your water, be disciplined enough to give Seth Adams an opportunity to convert, because the percentages go from about 50% to about 25% in this situation.
That was both Orr and Neely, the left side of the line, basically popping up. 3rd down and 9. Single setback is Green Ellis. Seth Adams dropped at the 30-yard line by Derek Harvey. His 3rd sack of the year.
Now this is a matchup. If I'm Derek Harvey, my eyes get pretty big because I got a tight end, Robert Lane, blocking me. And then I'm going to have the back chip on me. Here they are over here on this right side. It's the tight end in the back trying to block one of the best pass rushers in the SEC. It's just not going to work.
He also got a great jump on that left side of that line. 48-yard field goal attempt on the way from Joshua Sheen. He's hit a couple of times already today. This kick on the way, bending in there and just shy. Buckle up the chin straps because Florida will certainly try to stick some more points on the board here. Here's Tim Tebow off to Moore. He's brought down at the 38-yard line by Ashley Palmer.
Palmer did a nice job that time floating and kind of staying in his position. He's in his zone. He could have come up to try to take Tebow, but he didn't. He stayed back and was able to make the tackle on Kestahn Moore.
So Florida will no huddle it here. 2nd down and 1. Inside a minute. Only one timeout left for the Gators. Pass over the middle. Caught by the tight end. 1st down.
That's too easy. All Ingram did is read this middle linebacker. Middle linebacker ran about 20 yards downfield. He just hooked in front of him. Tebow put a ball on him. A couple more of those, they'll be in field goal range.
First and 10 Florida inside Ole Miss territory at the 45.
Clock runs again. And once again, a flag. Looked like the guard, Carlton Metter, might have popped up. Actually, Metter out at the tackle spot.
23 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Tebow stands in the pocket, but dump it off. Here's Moore, tripped up at the 40. That'll keep the clock moving. Do you burn the timeout? Yes, Florida will call the timeout. That'll bring up about a 2nd down and 4.
The tackle was number 11.
And a flag down in the backfield, maybe a face mask or hold against Florida. Wow.
Got a break. Ole Miss has kind of gone into kind of a prevent style of defense, and it's creating some huge holes
Illegal
underneath.
use of hands. Offense, number 77, hands to the face. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
I think you got to stay with what got you to this point. It's 14-6, 25 seconds left in the half. You've done an outstanding job defensively of limiting this offense, but it's because you've played solid zone. You haven't been giving up the easy throws. These guys run too well after the catch.
With coaches among, with at least 5 years of experience. Tebow lofts it up. Pass overthrown. Looking for Lewis Murphy. Nate Banks on the coverage, the senior out of Liberty, Mississippi. And an Ole Miss Rebel down at about the 35-yard line.
Was able to create a problem. Got the left side here. Oh, it's the chip. The infamous chip. You saw Kestahn Moore, and he got the rib cage of Greg Hardy. It's right over here, folks. And that's the classic chip. And that's what if you're an offensive tackle, that's your best friend, is your back slipping out of the backfield. You got a fire breather coming off the edge like a Greg Hardy. If you can get your back to chip on him, and Kestahn Moore, those are the kind that when you talk about slowing a pass rush down, you hope that Greg can come back in, but that's going to be planted in his mind that Kestahn Moore is going to slip out to that side and take a shot at those exposed ribs.
Tim Mullins, the head trainer, athletic trainer.
He's had a couple of pressures, a couple of big licks on Tebow.
Antonio Turner checks in at that end. He'll put some pressure on Tebow. But Tebow gets the pass off to Harvin. Harvin, look at him dance around to midfield. He's at the 40 and out of bounds with 8 seconds to go here in the opening half. He's about a yard. Where are they going to spot this? At the 33. Yeah, he's about a yard shy of the 1st down.
37-2 for Florida.
Now this is a situation where if you're Ole Miss, you need to come up on the edge and play the quick throw. They're going to try to throw it to the flat and get a little bit more yardage for a field goal attempt. Well, they dump it over the middle to Brandon James.
They'll get the 1st down. That will stop the clock for a moment. And can they ground the football before the clock runs out? Tebow ready to go. Let's see what happens. They'll have to wait to set the chains. Crowd crowd booing, but the chain crew on the far side not quite ready to go. They're having some issues over there. And Tebow able to ground it, but that'll do it. They could not stop the clock. A strange ending to the first half. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Coach, you talked yesterday about going back to basics with your guys on defense. I thought they played awfully good defense first
Really playing well against a very good offensive football team. We missed a couple of tackles. I think John's doing a great job of calling the game. Our guys are ready to play. We've got a lot of football left. This is an explosive football team. We got to make some plays in the red zone down there. We'll get a chance.
Offensively, you've been pretty efficient too.
Been pretty efficient, but we still live in the red zone. But we're ready, man. I'm looking forward to the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. Ed Ogeron.
Let's start the second half. That first 5 minutes of the second half, establish some kind of tempo in their favor.
Ehas will kick it away. Bounces at the 15 on a one-hop to Marche Green. And Green out to the 30-yard line.
Marche Green on the return to the 30-yard line.
Roland Adams out. They had some success with that.
Had a little success, but they're going to have to continue to get Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis has got to be a feature guy at what they do offensively.
There's a rollout. That pass is batted up in the air, so I think Florida realized that Ole Miss had some success on the little sprint out. Joe Hayden.
You know, if the corner's closing on this play, Dave, this is some adjustments that were made by the defensive staff for Florida. As this was a play that was there. Lane was slipping in the flat. Coach O thought that might be one that gets out the gate to start out the drive, and a good play by freshman Joe Hayden.
That'll bring up a second down and 10. Seth Adams in that first half. 9 out of 15. Handoff left side, loses 5 to Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis, and swarmed by the white jerseys.
Well, this is an opportunity for one of the two teams to seize control of the tempo of the game. Harvey just fights through on a slant and gets into the backfield, unable to get a hat on him, and he makes the play in the backfield. Nice job of beating Reed Neely to the play, and now you're 3rd and long, and this was certainly what Urban Meyer was looking for from his defense.
Good pressure. Adams steps up, pump fakes, will run and then slide at the 32. Probably a wise decision, but that will bring up a 4th down and a punting opportunity now for the Rebels. Pressure came from Jermaine Cunningham.
Gets the pressure from Cunningham coming around the edge, but he does a nice job as a quarterback. Slide up in the pocket, help your tackle out. Nice job there. Maurice Miller runs Cunningham around, but again, good coverage down the field. Seth Adams makes the right decision, get up the field and hit the deck.
So Brandon James back to return the punt of Justin Sparks. Flag down to line of scrimmage, and a good kick from Sparks. James all the way back to the 15, and a flag down as James made the catch. Maybe a little interference with the diminutive one.
Such a great kick that Nate Banks, who was down there doing an excellent job of coverage, just couldn't wait long enough for the ball to come down. Just a huge kick.
53-yard punt. We just missed it on that replay. It looked
again, good coverage by Ole Miss. That's a long punt. They got down there, were able to get Brandon James wrapped up to a minimal gain.
And the rule is, and they changed this a couple of years ago, there is no more like halo rule. It's you just have to give the return man an opportunity to field the ball
without being banged around, and that he was bumped a little bit on the play.
You got to give him the opportunity to make a play on the ball, and
exactly.
that includes a bump. Coach Meyer trying to figure out what is the
We have 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation on the offense. That penalty's declined. Kick catching interference, number 28 of the kicking team. That penalty will be accepted from the spot, 15 yards.
Coach Meyer trying to figure out which one of those will benefit him the most, and he will take the second infraction. So, Dave, what did you think about Florida's offensive selection in the first half, and do they change it up here?
No, I think you get back to doing what you did. Workman like this again. Here's the running play, the counter play. Getting up the field with Kestahn Moore, but this is what they featured, Dave, at the end of the half, and they had a lot of success with it until Ole Miss makes a commitment to commit more people around the line of scrimmage. I think this is what you're going to see.
13 for Moore as you look at the first half possessions for this Florida team. And, you know, they had that 77-yard drive for a touchdown, 98-yard drive that went 14 plays. Now they're looking at a 1st and 10 from the Gator 44. Here's Moore dancing around. He'll pick up 17 more. So a quick 30 yards and 2 carries for Kestahn Moore. Jamie Phillips brings him down.
Really nothing special about what's going on here. Just a straight handoff up the middle to Kestahn Moore, and another missed tackle at the second level. Just straight ahead. Kestahn Moore goes right in behind his big center, Drew Miller. Jim Tart on that side. Another missed tackle. The 8th missed tackle now by this Ole Miss defense.
Moore now 4 carries, 34 yards. You look at Dan Mullen, the offensive coordinator, just 35 years old. Moore bouncing around, can't shake the second tackle of Tony Fine, the junior out of Port Orchard, Washington. He's a great story. 3.5 years in the Army, served in Iraq, junior college All-American at Scottsdale Community College.
Good penetration by Jerry. And then the final to tackle by Brandon Thomas. But Jerry forced the play in the backfield, allowed Thomas to get there and make the play. Nice penetration by Ole Miss up front.
Five receivers set on 2nd down and 14. Pass dropped over the middle, right in the hands of David Nelson.
Ole Miss showed a 4-man line zone behind Dave, and this time they're going to drop Marcus Tillman, the big defensive end. He's going to slide back out into coverage. Tillman drops out and becomes an 8th man in coverage. Tebow's got no throw down the field, and this is one Nelson kind of was a little concerned about where that linebacker was more than he was catching the football.
Pass caught at the 25-yard line. That'll go to Lewis Murphy. Cassius Vaughn on the coverage for the Rebels, but that'll move the chains.
Boy, nice job of Florida stepping up and picking up the blitz. Tebow's going to set his feet and just throw. He takes one right in the chops as he lets it go, but he's got the post route. It's man coverage. It's one you can let go early because it completely shows itself right away. As soon as the blitz comes, there's nobody in that intermediate area to cover. You can let it go early and get the ball out.
Play fake to Harvin, and Tebow is crushed again as he throws. Incomplete. Looking for his tight end / wide receiver Cornelius Ingram, but boy, Tebow is getting popped pretty good here.
Yeah, this is Chris Strong, the big middle linebacker. He's going to shadow the quarterback. Tebow, the little boot fake, and this is Chris Strong just plants him.
Chris Strong, now you got to understand, he's a linebacker, but he goes 6'2", 280, and he's just a freshman. Probably see him on that defensive front once they get some linebacker help here at Ole Miss. 4-man front for the Rebels, but the Gators looking at the 24-yard line of Ole Miss on 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers near side. Tebow will keep it. Breaks a tackle to the 20 and hog-tied at the 19 by Ashley Palmer, who now has 7 tackles today.
And just another designed run. Chris Strong, the big fella, had another shot at him, and as the missed tackles continue to mount. You mentioned the missed tackle there, Dave. That's their 10th of the game now. And you're talking, when you start talking about missing 10 tackles, now you start talking about a nice chunk of yardage. You know, you start tackling a guy, a missed tackle where a guy runs for 10 or 15 yards, that really begins to pile up.
Look at our Aaron's scoreboard. There's Missouri, ranked number 25. They knocked off this Ole Miss team a couple of weeks ago. Tebow. It's Harvin. That's his 10th catch, and he breaks another tackle down to the 10-yard line. That's another first down. Florida offense in the red zone. This year, 18 touchdowns and 21 opportunities. You want to talk about having some success. 85% touchdowns. It's second in the SEC, only to Kentucky, who's at 87.5. That red zone powered behind the generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. Out of the shotgun, 3 receivers near side. Tebow will keep it. Dancing around. He will pick up about 5 down to the 6-yard line. Chris Strong and Brandon Thomas converge on that stop.
And I think that number's going to stay that high throughout the year for this Florida offense because your featured runner is your quarterback. And his ability to throw the football and run it at the same time creates major problems. Talked about it earlier. You don't have to commit people in the backfield to give the football to, or as a blocker, you can spread the field now, and now he is the power runner behind the line, or he can raise up and throw to one of 5 receivers, which he has on this play.
Tebow, 12 carries, 75 yards today. He'll keep it again, left side, inside the 5, touchdown, Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators.
Well, Dave, you got 5 receivers in the pattern, so as a defense, you've got to make sure that you have enough people deployed to defend that, as well as get some rush. They do a nice job. They make it look like pass. Tebow's going to show pass. It's run all the way. See the lineman get the block, and then your receivers have to block down the field. Nice job of getting a block down the field for Tebow to get him in the end zone.
Of the afternoon for Tim Tebow. In his career, he has 15 career rushing TDs and 14 passing touchdowns.
Tim Tebow's been very disciplined in what he's taken. He's made a lot of big plays coming into this game, but he's taken the short throws.
Good catch by Marseille Green on the kickoff, and then he is met at the 28-yard line by John Jones. 22-yard return. Let's go back to the touchdown for a moment.
Dave, this is what I'm talking about, these receivers. Look how they spread the field. 5 receivers now, and look how the defense is spread out. Tebow's going to simulate pass, now going to take off on the run. They get the middle seal, now the receiver block. Right there, the receiver block to get Tebow to the sideline. And Tebow, just that power run through tackles, strong in the lower half to get up the field and get in the end zone.
16 of 26, 184 yards, 13 carries, 80 yards. Here's a young man that is 3rd in the NCAA in passing efficiency and leads the SEC in total offense. Bruce Hall with a big chunk of change for the Rebels out over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Kyle Jackson with the tackle, but that'll be a first down.
Yeah, big drive here for Ole Miss now, Dave. Florida sees command of the tempo of this game. Bruce Hall with a nice job, good blocking up front to create the hole for Hall to get in there and get the first down. This is an opportunity now, Mississippi, or the field a little bit. He got to punch this in the end zone.
Well, they need a spark offensively, especially help keep that defense off the field. 5-man front for Seth Adams. He now has time to throw. He's going deep. As a man, Michael Hicks, and the pass is caught at the 5-yard line. He beat Wandy Pierre-Louis. What a catch by Michael Hicks. 49 yards.
2 guys improvising here, Dave, the quarterback and the wide receiver. They want the slant route to the left side. He doesn't have it. They take it away. So he fades to the right side, and Hicks, who's running a post route, turns it up and goes vertical against Wandy Pierre-Louis. And you said it, Dave, this is a big-time catch with Louis all over, Pierre-Louis all over him.
Yeah, Wandy Pierre-Louis was, I mean, you couldn't have had better coverage. Good catch by Hicks, the sophomore out of Jacksonville. It's a 1st and goal situation now for the Rebels. Handoff off the left side goes Bruce Hall. Not much happening there as Brandon Spikes, the middle linebacker, the sophomore out of Shelby, North Carolina, steps up to make the hit.
Yeah, just didn't get the block on him. It looked like Reed Neely is the guy that's supposed to get up, number 71, up on Spikes, but he does not get a hat on Spikes, and he just flows downhill and makes the play for no gain.
Spikes leads the team in tackles. Had 9 total stops against Tennessee, a career high in the opener, 11 against Western Kentucky in a game that was called with about 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter because of lightning and bad weather.
Got to figure Mike Wallace somewhere around here.
We'll see. Adams stands in the pocket, pump fakes, is hit as he throws, batted around, incomplete. Boy, Florida just not getting a pass rush, and that's been a concern for Urban Myers. In fact, Seth Adams getting some time back there.
Yeah, he really got some time. Dustin Doe got a little bit of late pressure, but you're right, Dave. It was after Seth Adams had a chance to kind of sort it out from a secondary standpoint. Florida did a nice job on Mike Wallace. They wanted to run him in that shallow cross, and they walled him off. Got to try to find a way to get Mike Wallace involved. He split way out here at the top. He's the guy they'd like to get the football to.
Robert Lane, the tight end, out on the near side. Adams lofts it up. Anybody there? No interception. Tony Joyner caught the football, but he had his back foot on the end line. But what was Adams doing?
It looked like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. He wants Mike Wallace in the back of the end zone. Was not tipped. He just threw it up.
Wow.
I'm not sure where he was going with that.
That was bizarre.
Yeah. Just had the foot in the white. Boy, Joyner did a nice job of reacting to the football because I'm sure he was as surprised as anybody that they threw the ball up in the air like that.
22-yard field goal attempt on the way from Joshua Sheen. His kick is up, and it is good. He's hit from 39, 32, and now 22.
This is a situation where do you get pressure on the quarterback? No, Seth Adams has got time to sort this out. Not sure where he's throwing this football. I think he wanted to get the ball to Mike Wallace. Now, this is Wallace out here. Look at the lane. There's the lane to throw it in right there, but he threw the ball towards the goalpost.
That was a weird situation. Here's a return. Out to the 38-yard line by Javier Estopinan. Your 280-pound defensive lineman. Their drives have been a lot better when they've been backed up for whatever reason today. Here's Harvin in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Harvin flagged down. Looks like a hold coming. Ingram grabbing a hold of Jamie Phillips. And everybody in the building saw it.
Yeah, again, a counter play, Dave. This is something this team has featured, is backside counter play. Cornelius Ingram, the tight end. It's locked on Jamie Phillips.
Holding, offense number 7. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
See a little counter play. And there's your hold right there. There's your hold.
Thanks for circling that because I couldn't see it.
Yeah, if you're going to hold, try to make it in a pile somewhere, right?
Not in the open. And don't be 6'4", 230 pounds where it's you don't miss Cornelius Ingram.
He is a specimen, too. You
You
got a
know.
chance to be down on the field, Dave.
It's awesome to watch him run routes at his size.
I don't think there's any question you'll be seeing him playing on another day during the weekend at some point in his career.
Well, the Gators now looking at a first down and 19 at the 30-yard line. Here's Moore on the inside handoff, nowhere to go. Jerry, the junior out of Batesville, Mississippi, with the stop. Perret goes about 310 pounds, but looked like he weighed about 210 on that play. He was quickly in the backfield as we look at our Aaron scoreboard. Syracuse up 10 on Louisville in the fourth quarter, and South Florida continuing to churn out some wins. Tight one, an ACC ball up in Virginia, Charlottesville. Georgia Tech up by 2.
That's been a tough place for the Yellow Jackets to win in Charlottesville.
Tebow will bring it down and run it out to the 37-yard line. Jerry again with another tackle.
Again, designed run for Tim Tebow. This is just a quarterback draw. Simulate pass, and you know when the linemen are released down the field. You see Kestahn Moore down the field getting the block. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
You know, Arch, Tim Tebow is so good at what he does, but you got to wonder, you know, how many times can you go to the well? I mean, that was his 14th carry. You didn't carry 14 times in your career, did you? At least when it was planned.
Come on, Buzz.
Well, I mean,
you're right. It wasn't planned. That's a good call.
Yeah.
It was not planned.
I mean, how much can he take?
No, you're exactly right. The wear and tear on your quarterback through an SEC season, not just in this game, but an SEC season, is going to take its toll.
Tebow this time stands in the pocket and fires, hits Ingram. Breaks 2 tackles, first down, Florida. The man we were talking about moments ago picks up the first down at the Ole Miss 36. Johnny Brown with the tackle, but that is now 14 missed tackles by the Ole Miss defenders.
Well, Dave, this is the old number 1, the fastball, because there were 2 defenders closing, and that was about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right at the letters, and Ingram turns and makes a play, and I think Tebow liked that. He heated that one up pretty good to get it in there.
Tebow now 17 of 27, 209 yards through the air. He's closing in on 100 yards on the ground. He is 10th in the country in total offense. Over the middle, pass caught. Murphy spins. He's at the 10. This will be a Gator touchdown. The fastest player on the Gator team, Louis Murphy, broke a tackle, and there was no doubt where he was headed.
This is a little double job. They play fake, and then they faked a little Tebow quarterback draw, which sucked all the defenders up underneath. And it's just a one-on-one throw to Louis Murphy to the outside, and then at some point, defensively, you got to make a tackle. Just a nice job of Murphy spinning out of the 2 players and getting in the end zone, and then Murphy did the little Gator chop in the end zone for the flag.
Number 9 over the offense. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
There's a lot going on in that conversation. And the point after is missed. Joey Ehas was 23 out of 23 coming into today, but misses that. Well, a mixed extra point by Florida. They would have been perfect on the year, but that mixed extra point came from Jonathan Phillips, the junior out of Wellington, Florida. Urban Meyer not too happy about it. I said Joe Ehas because he had been perfect on point afters all season long. Phillips comes in. There's Ehas, who's also been kicking off. He kicked off last year and did a nice job. And now you got Phillips back out to kick off. So the question begs, so you wonder if Ehas is hurt. He's been their guy all year, and he's been pretty good. He's made all his field goal attempts. He's been pretty good on kickoff.
It's the only thing that makes the example, but here's a big situation now with the kickoff being from the 15.
Marshae Green breaks containment, gets out to the 40-yard line, and a little push in the back. No flags come in. So Ole Miss will line up. Good field position just outside their 40-yard line in the I formation. They'll play fake to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Adams rolling out, gets hit. Oh, and a flag comes down. That'll be a blow to the head and the helmet of Seth Adams. He got rocked.
Number 84, Michael Hicks. Penalty marker on the flag.
Well, you talked about the hold on Ingram that was right in front of everybody. This is another one that was a pretty easy call.
Oh.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 51 of the defense. Helmet-to-helmet contact. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, that'll...
Yeah, Spikes came in for the linebacker spot and just dropped the hammer on the quarterback. And I think Seth Adams, when he sees this film, win or lose, no matter what happens to Ole Miss, he's going to find that, you know what, that back in the flat's not a bad decision. Let me go ahead and get it to him right now as opposed to waiting for that comeback, because that throw is right there available right away, and he's not going to take these shots he's taking from some of these linebackers from Florida.
So that'll be a first down inside the 45. Here's Green. Flag comes down in the backfield. Green down to the 25-yard line.
Dave, Maurice Miller got a tackle on Derek Harvey. This was another one. It was really easy to call. Maurice Miller, the big right offensive tackle, 6'3", 343 pounds. Got his arms wrapped around Derek Harvey.
Holding, offense, 79. 10-yard penalty, Repeat first down.
Look at the penalties on the Florida Gators today. Remember, they're the most penalized team in the league, and Ole Miss came in the least penalized team in the league. They had 13 through 3 games. They've also been flagged quite a bit. Big tackle right at midfield by Brandon Spikes. That's his 4th tackle of the afternoon.
Job of Spikes playing that middle linebacker spot. Just the zone coverage, allow the ball completed underneath, comes over and makes a big hit, limits the game.
Boy, Ole Miss had an opportunity. They had the football in Florida territory and, get backed up by their own mistake.
Well, here Seth Adams has to take another similar throw, get it back to a manageable situation unless something breaks clean deep.
Pump fakes, steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle, passes caught, first down. Shea Hodge with the reception.
Florida playing a 2-deep, 5-under zone, Dave, and what you want to do to attack this is you attack it with 4 vertical receivers. You're going down the field. You see the pump fake to the left side by the quarterback, Adams. He's trying to pull defenders out of the play, which he did. He was able to pull the middle backer out of the play, and then Shea Adams was able to duck back underneath in front of Dustin Doe.
Adams now 13 out of 21, 180 yards. 14 out of 22. That'll be Hodge again at the 20. I'll spot it actually inside the 20, down at about the 19-yard line. And Ole Miss moving the ball very well. This is an efficient offense. You look at their numbers this year, so much better than a year ago. I mean, they're averaging over 350 yards of total offense. They've been pretty good on 3rd downs. Over 100 yards on the ground, close to 250 through the air.
Now you get in that red zone, 20-yard line going in, where you really got to finish the deal.
Yeah, it's been the red zone that has been a concern. There's Hodge, pass is caught, touchdown Ole Miss.
Goes for the interception from the free safety spot, tries to undercut the play, and this is just a hard throw, real quick, hard throw, and got the shot to Shea Hodge. Kyle Jackson going for the INT. That's what you got to do. You get down in that scoring zone, you got to make a play.
Point after, up and good. Seth Adams with his 6th touchdown pass of the season. Shea Hodge with his 1st touchdown reception. This is showing me a lot today. I mean, it's hard not to look at the numbers and think, uh-oh, when you come into a matchup like this, but Ole Miss has really played well today. Brandon James corralled inside the 35. 1st and 10 in an 11-point game. Florida out in front. Option pitch to Moore. He's got room close to the first down at the 43. Tripped up by Cassius Vaughn, the sophomore from Memphis.
Well, I don't know, Dave. I have to look at it. I can't remember I'm running a straight option, but you get the option here, and here's the pitch. And how about the block by Percy Harvin right there? We talk about Percy making plays down the field, running the ball, carrying the ball. But a nice job of blocking right there by Kestahn Moore.
Kestahn looks like he got a little banged up. Training staff walking with him. He's got 7 carries, 39 yards this afternoon. And now Harvin will stand in at tailback. No toss to him. This time the receiver, David Nelson, couldn't get the block on Dustin Mouzon. Oh, and Mouzon licking his chops. And that will be a loss of 5.
This is a good job by Mouzon. One, because he probably studied what Florida likes to do with Harvin lined up at that spot. So he beats Nelson across his face and is able to get in the backfield. But it's an outstanding job of being prepared, knowing that if the receiver's going to block him, he's going to knife in and make the play. Mouzon playing at a high level.
Mouzon had that 99-yard interception return against Memphis, walked into one of his classes the following Monday and got a standing ovation. Here's Tebow on the keeper. And he has stood up and dropped at the 45, got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit more, gain of 6. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Injuries really starting to become a problem for Florida, Dave. I was right behind the Florida bench after that last carry. Kestahn Moore, he got a stinger. He immediately took his helmet off, and he was really crunching his neck up behind the bench. He's in a lot of pain. And if the Gators get in field goal range again, or if the kicking game becomes an issue, Joey Ehas, we're told, was nursing a pulled groin late in the week. It tightened up on him, and so now Phillips will handle the kicking duties.
Thank you, Buzz. That explains that situation. But a big 3rd and 6 as the crowd making some noise, making 3rd and 8. Tebow chased, still on his feet. Throws. Incomplete. Was that a coverage play?
No question about it. And it's great discipline by Ole Miss, because at any point in the time, somebody could have run up and tried to make a play on Tebow. It's just a zone coverage. And see, you got 9 defenders in coverage. At some point, somebody could come out of coverage to Tebow, and that's what he's hoping for, but nobody does. So nobody frees up, and he has to throw it away. Great job by Ole Miss to stay with the discipline in the coverage.
You know, it hasn't looked like Ole Miss has done a whole lot of blitzing today. They've been very sound in their base defensive packages. Good high kick from Jazz Henry that bounces inside the 10, down at the, where were they spotted? At the 4-yard line. Chris Rainey, the true freshman, has his hands on the football. A 50-yard punt. So Ole Miss now backed up. They'll line up in the I. Off the left side, Bruce Hall to the 20, to the 22-yard line. Good work up front by the offensive line on that left side, and they've instituted the zone blocking scheme here, and it looked like it worked there.
Another job, the zone blocking scheme coming off, getting a hat on a hat, and then there's the key block. The block by Cook on the linebacker spikes was able to, and we talked about it. We talked about the fullback runs the play like he's carrying the football. He ran to the hole. The next guy that showed was the color was Brandon Spikes. He got him blocked, tailback right off his rear end for a big gain.
1st and 10. All 4 carries, 30 yards. Adams throwing up top. Mike Wallace with the catch. He will race to the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. 77 yards.
There was no mystery about this play, Dave. This is just a straight fly pattern by Mike Wallace. We've been calling Mike Wallace's name. When are they going to get him the football? This is just straight run past Joe Hayden, and an unbelievable throw by Seth Adams right over the shoulder. He did not break stride. And Mike Wallace is the big play guy on this team. Gone for 200-yard games this season. He had 4 catches for 139 and 2 touchdowns last week against Vandy. A big play here.
Well, that was just flat out speed on speed. Joe Hayden, Mike Wallace. Both those guys are about as fast as you will find in the SEC as Ole Miss lines up to go for 2. Adams out of the shotgun. Passes. Caught. 2-point conversion works. Marche Green.
Well, what you're going to do is you're going to spread them out on the 2-point or on the long throw. This is just straight drop back, and here's Wallace right here working on Joe Hayden. Straight drop back, and I'm going to let it go with some trajectory and let my guy run underneath it. And Mike Wallace just outruns the Gator secondary. Just a straight drop, throw it deep to my best guy.
And Dave, I noticed that Major Wright was in at safety. You got 2 freshmen, Hayden and Wright was a little bit slow getting over there, and some safety help. He just got outrun on the play.
Yeah, just a straight fly pattern, and you don't think the Ole Miss fans are into it now.
Well, Mike Wallace out of New Orleans, Louisiana, in his last 2 games coming into this one. 13 catches, 275 yards.
Shea Hodge made the big catch on the post. We saw Mike Wallace there, and Marche Green got the 2-point conversion.
There's the short line drive kick, fielded at the 18-yard line. And out to the 35 goes Joe Hayden. Looking at a 1st and 10 from the 36. Tebow, keeper off the left side. Says take a little of this. Close to a 1st down. Tebow has been really strong today, but his counterpart on the other side, Dave, with a bad shoulder, practiced a little bit this week, has had a nice afternoon, 15 to 24, and has managed the game quite well.
Well, and I think the key there, Dave, as you said, to manage the game, he's decided to take some underneath throws when he probably could have forced it down the field to keep his football in the game. He's not football team in the game. He's not turned the ball over, and that's given Ole Miss an opportunity here in the 4th quarter.
Tebow over 100 yards on the ground now. Will hand it off. And Moore tripped up on the quarter by Cassius Vaughn, but he will pick up the 1st down. Look at our stats through 3 quarters, and he has 105 of those yards on the ground by Tebow. He's thrown for 246. Percy Harvin, 10 catches, 112 yards. He's 5 off the school record.
Well, when you look at that number, though, 112 on 10 catches, what's that, 11.2
right,
if I do the math properly.
Right.
He's 3 yards under his number he came into game with, averaging 14.3 yards every time he touched the ball.
MVP of the SEC championship game last year, Percy Harvin. Tebow has time, fires over the middle, nearly picked off. Oh, Kendrick Lewis had a bead on it, and it went right through his hands.
It's a great read by Kendrick Lewis, and it's even a better play because he decided to squeeze the trigger and try to make the play. It's one thing to see it and then say, you know what, I better play back because I don't want this guy. Here he is right here. Now there's verticals coming up the field. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. Now he goes to the football. He doesn't go to the defender. He goes to the football. Outstanding play, Kendrick Lewis.
Lewis will probably look at that on tape and be wondering, what if? 2nd down and 10. Tebow hit as he throws over the middle. Pass is caught by Aaron Hernandez, the true freshman tight end who has certainly got stardom written all over his back. But that is shy of the 1st down by about 4 yards. Look at that number for Ole Miss. You got to go back to 1977 to see a win over a top 5 team. Now they got a long way to go. This is only a 3-point game and they still trail. But it is 3rd down and 4 for Florida, and the crowd's making a lot of noise.
Yeah, important point on that last play. Tebow on the ground again, Dave. Marcus Tillman put him on the ground.
Remember, young football team for Florida. Hostile environment, 1st SEC road game. Pass is incomplete. Looking for Percy Harvin.
He got locked in on Harvin, but he had Cornelius Ingram underneath for the 1st down and got locked in on Harvin and didn't take the short throw. That's the first time I've seen Tebow maybe get a little impatient with the decision making. Might have could have got the ball to Ingram in the flat for the 1st down.
I told you about how young this team is. 35 of these Gator players have never played in a road game. 18 of them, it's their first road trip ever. Marshae Green, look at that left ankle. Boy, it is wrapped hard. Chaz Henry stands at the 40 to punt. They shanked it. Shanked it out of bounds. See where they spot it. That's going to be up around the 30-yard line. Make it the 28-yard line. No national championship on the line right now, but this Ole Miss club playing like they've got one instead. They are playing the national champions, however, so there is something there. The segue there. So that's the best I can come up with.
Well, the comeback, if you will, in Ole Miss has been by the big play. The receivers and the quarterbacks making plays. That long play led to a field goal, and then the Shea Hodge catch. Jackson goes to the interception and get in the end zone, and then here's the big one that got him back in and got this crowd back into the game. Mike Wallace on the long bomb from Seth Adams.
2nd down and 6. Adams on the run, and he's hit pretty hard. Looks like Brandon Spikes got him. Spikes has already been flagged for a personal foul for helmet-to-helmet contact, but didn't slow him down on that particular play.
Well, he's been hit on this play, Dave, I think 3 or 4 times now, and it's because he's holding the ball, waiting to hit the comeback. When he's got a chance to hit the back and the flat. Just get it out quickly. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Arch, you've been looking at a tired Florida defense, in my opinion, the second half. Greg Madison told us earlier in the week he was concerned, wanted to rotate some guys in there to keep them fresh and keep them from getting pounded. He hadn't done that. They've had to chase the quarterback a lot, and they've been getting run right at, and they are gassed right now.
You know, I think that goes back to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He hasn't had many yards on the ground today. Catch made at the 38-yard line. That'll be a first down. Shea Hodge with the reception.
Nice design. Shea Hodge is going to sit it down in the hole and now get north and south. Give me the first down. He almost forgot the football. He was able to get back on top of it, and he still had the first down. Nice job of moving the football there. And how about the way they've moved the football the last 3 times they've touched it?
You know, back to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. It's the threat of him. The play action has allowed them to freeze the linebackers for a step, get the little roll out.
We talked about him being the heartbeat of this team, and it all comes off of him, Dave.
This time he will get the carry off the right side. He has met at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Spikes led the way.
You know, Buzz talked about how this defense is gassed and been worn down, and you know they're rotating players up front, but still, at some point you got to take into the fact that this offensive line is massive, and if they lean on you enough and bang on you enough, it's going to take some out of you.
Here's Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, averaging less than 4 yards a carry out of the I formation. Play action. Going up top, looking for Wallace off his fingertips.
Boy, caught him in man coverage again, and this was a chance for a big play here, but Seth Adams got rushed just a little bit. Tony Joyner on the coverage. Maybe throw the ball just a little bit too long for Mike Wallace.
First and 10 line is brought to you by IKBI Incorporated. Igby, building vision, building relationships. You know, Green Ellis came in averaging 4.8 yards per carry. He's under 4 today. Had a huge game against Missouri earlier this year. Career high 226 yards on the ground. And movement off the right side. Derek Harvey jumped. Robert Huff, the tight end, moved, but was it because of Harvey? Florida looking over there saying that was because Huff jumped.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85 offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Lincoln Financial Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Lincoln Financial Sports is prohibited. Dave Neal, Dave Archer, and Dave Baker. Vaught Hemingway Stadium on a Saturday afternoon on the last day of summer. Tomorrow begins the fall season. What a way to conclude the summer. 27-24. Adams fires. Intercepted at the 38-yard line. Tony Joyner, the senior out of Haines City, Florida.
First time Seth Adams has forced the football down the field. He didn't need to take this throw. He's had some success pushing it down the field, and you feel like you're bulletproof a little bit, but he forced it down the field, and they were all over the coverage.
Tony Joyner, who rooms with Tim Tebow. They call him the odd couple with a big-time play in the defensive backfield. Will have the football just inside their own 40. Tebow with a quarterback keeper. Boy, Ole Miss last year had some hard luck against some ranked opponents. They played well in some games, but could not close the deal. It was a struggle for Ole Miss. Much like today, they would put themselves in positions to win some of these games. Look what happened against number 9 Georgia here in Oxford. Then against Auburn, they had a chance. 23-17, they lose that one. And of course, they took LSU to overtime last year. Their only blowout against top 25 team was a game we did over at Arkansas when the Hawks really put it to the Rebels that day. Here's Harvin trying to get a block. Boy, Harvin, it's unbelievable. Guys are like right there to make a play, and they actually get their hands on him, and it's like he's got grease all over him or something.
Yeah, he just makes people miss. That's his 11th reception on the game. Now closing in on that all-time record. Carlos Alvarez, 15 receptions way back in 1969 against Miami. Harvin just 4 away from that.
Harvin having another outstanding game last week against Tennessee. 13 touches, 195 yards. 11 catches, 121 today. Hooray, Jerry.
98 defense. 5-yard
Trying to
penalty,
tiptoe
still
back to
first
the
down.
defensive line. And I just don't think at 310 you're going to hide.
And he touched Carlton Metter on the back. But back in the day, you could do that. You
Right.
could run all the way in the backfield as long as you got back before it was snapped. But unabated, the quarterback has thrown that out the window.
So that'll make it 1st down and 5. A lot of options here if you're Dan Mullen, the offensive coordinator for Florida. Especially when you're at the Rebel 45. It looked like the Gators might have moved on the offensive line.
Dead ball, false start. 63 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And 13 penalties today against Florida. 13.
It's hard enough to gain yardage against the defenses in the SEC. They're too good. And if you're going to give up that kind of yardage, I don't care how good offense you are, you're going to have some tough times winning football games. And
Look at that, Dave. 122 yards
yeah,
given up.
that's hard to make up that much yardage.
Ole Miss hadn't been much better. 8 penalties for 60 yards. Here's Moore trying to get some of that back. The 42-yard line, brought down by Tony Fine, 3rd tackle for the junior. You know, this linebacking core, Dave, we were told by a lot of people that had seen Ole Miss play that this is a core that, this isn't Rory Johnson, Patrick Willis, a couple of All-American type linebackers, and these guys have been making plays.
Yeah, we've seen some missed tackles, and it's getting magnified because people talk about it.
Right.
There's been a lot of missed tackles on both sides. But this team has stepped up and they've played real. They've been very disciplined in what the game plan was today.
Here's Tebow looking for a hole. There's that linebacking core. Jamie Phillips this time.
But watch when Tebow gets hit, Dave, especially up high. Look how far he goes after he's hit. There's the hit, and now he's going to go for another 3. It just. You can't get the guy to the ground, right? You can't stop him in his tracks. He's so powerful.
Well, John Thompson said that they went back and looked at film and said, and you mentioned earlier, you got to hit him low. I mean, you cannot tackle Tim Tebow up high or he'll do that. It's not like the coaches didn't tell these guys.
No, and there's a concussion waiting for you down at the bottom if you hit those big tree trunk legs he's got.
And if you go low on a guy like Percy Harvin, he'll slip out of that and go 80 yards on you. That time, they had a low tackle, they miss out, and Tebow picks up the 1st down. Another missed tackle by the Ole Miss defense, Jamarcus Sanford. That is now 16 missed tackles by Ole Miss.
It's incredible when you package the size. This guy's huge in the lower half, great big legs. And he just runs through tackles, and he's just a tough guy, and then he's got the speed on top of that. This guy is not a slow runner. He's a guy that can run about a 4.5 40, so he's not just poking around out there.
Tim Tebow, 19 carries, 124 yards. Here's Percy Harvin. Dancing around, slips. Does he stay on his feet? Yes, he does, but he only gets maybe a yard. Ashley Palmer with a nice play. Also, Jamie Phillips helping out.
Really well played by Ashley Palmer, the linebacker, because he's really the only line of defense back there on the play. This is just, they're going to show option, and they're going to flip the ball to Harvin. You see the only guy back there is Palmer, and he slows him down enough and allows some more Rebels to get there and make the play.
Second down and 9.
That was a blitz.
Off the left side. Tebow gets to the 20-yard line. Tebow, by the way, with his 124, make that 127 yards, new career high for him. He had 93 rushing yards against Troy in week 2 this year.
All right, well, here's the key situation of the game right now for Ole Miss, and for Florida too. But Ole Miss has got to get a stop here and force Florida to try a field goal. They cannot afford, with just 7 minutes left, to allow Florida to punch this in.
Oh, big hole for Tebow. He's to the 15, picks up the first down to the 12.
Well, you had to know that if the hole opened up in the middle, Tebow's going to take off. This is not a designed run. He's setting up looking to throw, and now he pulls it down. He sees the hole, and it's not lost on him the fact that they're going to have a tough time bringing him down when he gets ahead of steam up. Lewis Murphy with an outstanding block down the field.
Under 7 minutes to go. Ed Ogeron trying to get his club to come up with a big turnover here, or at least 3. This drive taking up 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Here's Moore. He's met and pushed back by Jamie Phillips, a sophomore from right here in Oxford, Mississippi. Take a look at Florida's red zone today inside the 20-yard line. Oh, they have been perfect. They have been good all year in scoring touchdowns. 3 out of 3. And that red zone look powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. And you said it, Dave, it's because of their ability with Tim Tebow to run, throw. They have so many options.
Yeah, they spread it out, and really no reason. And they will not go with the back here. You have 5 wides, and now you have to spread it out. And Tebow's just going to read it. Is there 6 in the box, 5 in the box? I mean, they're going to run it or throw it.
Tebow scrambling to the 10 and can't break the tackle on the far side of Greg Hardy, who left the game earlier with an injury, and that's part of the athleticism of Hardy.
They do a nice job, and I'm talking about Ole Miss here, of bluffing like they're going to come with more people and then backing out, which showed Tebow, if he had a check with me at the line of scrimmage, you look at Hardy athleticism to go get Tebow. Showed Tebow that, hey, I got to throw this. There's too many people in the box. They backed out, and he was locked into the pass play. Then Hardy, with the great pursuit, makes the play.
Boy, this is a big play right here. They can pick up a first down right about the 1-yard line. Tebow stands tall in the pocket to the corner of the end zone, batted away, incomplete. Dustin moves on. Got a hand on the fastball of Tebow.
That was a fastball. Almost tore his face mask up. It's a great job. Again, the design of the defense. They're going to drop 9 into coverage. Only rushing 2 people at Tebow. And then he tries to shoot one in the back corner of the end zone. The ball's knocked down by Muzan. Played zone. Took away all the throwing lanes.
And it looks as though Joey Ehas is back on for the field goal from 25 yards out. So Ehas battling an injury, able to split the uprights, but it's still a 1-possession game with under 5 minutes to go. This has been a classic SEC football game. Just another example of a great Saturday in the SEC. A lot of hard hits, a lot of action, and another big hit at the 30-yard line, but Ole Miss will take over at the 33-yard line, a 24-yard return. It has been a hard-hitting day here in Oxford. As a quarterback, you cringe when you see that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain more parts of my body that haven't hurt for years, and all of a sudden start hurting again.
Well, here's Seth Adams coming off an interception, Dave.
Yeah, just get back to doing what you're doing. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, or Hall have got to be a part of what you're doing.
Before the snap infraction, 51 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first out.
You think Coach Ogeron agrees with that or not? I can't tell. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't think they're discussing their dinner plans this evening.
There's Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis with 11 carries, 37 yards on the sidelines.
Well, you mix your backs. You know, Hall's in the game right now. Hall might be a little bit better pass receiver out of the backfield if they want to get the ball to the backs.
Quick hitter over the middle. Pass is caught by Lane. Gain of about 7. Brandon Spikes with tackle number 7.
A lot of time left in the game. No reason to get out of what you do, your tempo. You actually want to use as much clock as you can. Move the football. Obviously, you got to put 7 on the board. But go ahead and use the clock up. Don't give Florida's offense the football again.
Good catch, but not much room to operate. Marche Green with the reception.
This is a quick zone read, throw it to the flat. Good job of flowing and making the play. Florida trying to play zone, trying to keep everything in front of them. Again, Mike Wallace is my guy. It would be, if I'm a quarterback, he's a guy I got to be thinking about here. He's up here at the top.
3rd and 6. And flags again. Good gracious. We've seen a lot of yellow today.
Prior to the snap infraction, 51 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Hey, what's he doing?
Down.
Is he just moving the ball?
He must be moving the football. I'm not sure if Seth Adams is using a hard count. Let's look at the center. Let's watch the football. Hard count, and you see he drags it just a count and then snaps it. Obviously an illegal snap, and I would imagine the quarterback's using a hard count. Now, if I'm Seth Adams, I got to think about if I can get a first down here, I'm not going to be able to use that anymore.
I don't know that I've seen that twice in the same game. Here comes pressure. Adams will fire. Crowd wanted pass interference. Dorian Monroe on the coverage. Dustin Doe was bringing the heat.
Well, Seth Adams never saw the blitz. He does not see the blitz. The blitz is going to come off the edge. Here comes Joyner. Here comes Dustin Doe. Here comes Spikes. This is a throw that I think was judged as a ball couldn't have been caught. It was about 5 yards short of the receiver, and I think that's why you didn't see a flag on the play. But I don't think Seth Adams ever saw the pressure. As a quarterback, you either adjust your protection or you got to have a sight adjustment to throw the football, get the ball out quicker.
Well, 3:09 to go, and Ole Miss in a unique punting formation.
Timeout, Florida.
And Florida calls a timeout to get their defense aligned. Boy, Florida doesn't want any mishaps here. They have Brandon James back inside the 30-yard line, but another unique punting formation coming from Ole Miss. They've got 6 guys lined up to the right of the deep snapper, and they will fake it to Robert Lane. Has to break a tackle, can't get there. Out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. So with 3 timeouts left, they run the fake, they turn it over. What do you think?
Well, it's an interesting call because Florida called timeout specifically for talking about making sure you're on the coverage defense-wise for a fake.
Now a short field for Florida with 3 minutes to go. Tebow breaks a couple of tackles. Tebow close to the 30-yard line. That might be good enough for a first down. Tim Tebow, as we've mentioned, career-high rushing today. Gets another 10 yards.
They said, don't tackle him up high. Don't tackle him up high. There it is.
What do you want?
Don't tackle him up high.
Okay. Okay.
Tackle him down low.
151 on the ground today. He has shattered his previous high.
It's unbelievable.
Dave, you talk about a dual threat quarterback. I have been, this is our second time with having the Gators this season, and he has impressed me. He's just so talented.
Well, I think it begins to, and this is the way they're going to have to win this football game, is Ole Miss is going to have to burn a timeout on the conversion by Florida. But this is a situation where you got to kind of wonder, look at Ed Orgeron, and Dave Baker brought it up, how much do you run Tebow and grind him down?
But I've just been thoroughly impressed with Tebow. His ability to change gears so often from being a passing quarterback to a running quarterback to an option quarterback.
And at some point, when you looked at this game, Ole Miss came out and did a nice job with taking away the explosion play. What they were going to give away a little bit was the running game, and good job of
Tim has posted 420 all-purpose yards. And because of that, he is our Lincoln Financial Player of the Game in recognition of his effort, as well as Seth Adams, who's had a nice day, 300 yards passing. Lincoln Financial Group is pleased to provide $2,000 to the scholarship fund of the 12 member institutions of the SEC. Here's Tebow off the right side.
And Dave, I think you hate to do this, sophomore quarterback, but with what he's doing, throwing the ball from an energy standpoint, charisma for his team, and then running the football. I mean, he's got to become part of the Heisman hype. He's got to become part of the mix.
Yeah, I was reading.
You got to talk about him.
And he wasn't in some things I was reading. He wasn't in people's top 5.
He has got to be one of the top 5 college football players in the country, especially what he's doing, his versatility, how strong he is, everything he brings to the dance, And I know he's a sophomore and he's only started 4 games, but you got to start talking about him.
Here's Tebow off the right side. Once again, gets tackled up high. And what does he do? Picks up a first down.
And gets up in the air and encourages the Gator fans in that end zone. Say, hey, guess what? I just nailed this one shut for us.
He really did. He put this team on his shoulders in the second half.
He did, running the football, and then his decisions to throw the ball underneath, and that's a maturity level that is a lot of times lost on a quarterback that doesn't have the playing time that he has. He was able to distribute the ball underneath, move the chains, and then the running game allowed him to wear down this Ole Miss defense.
And I'll say this, Urban Meyer, and this was not, I flat out asked him, I said, is this coach speak when we talked about traveling to Oxford with a young football team and how concerned he was? And folks, he said, no, I am dead serious and I am worried about this trip. And you can kind of see why as flags come down. I think he would have taken a 1-point win. He'll take 6, obviously, but he wants to get out of here. This was one of the players, as Dave Baker said early in our game, one of his young players walked up to him after practice earlier this week and said, Coach, so what's the deal? Do we leave day of the game? How does this work?
Well, he's got, what, 35 players that had
never played in a road game.
Yeah, never played on a road game.
18 in their first road trip ever. And you see their schedule, of course.
This defense and what they've been able to come in here and do against maybe the best offense in the nation. I mean, I don't think it's too strong to say that when they came in doing what they were doing with the numbers they were racking up.
45 seconds to play in this one. Tip my cap. I know it's a tough loss. Ole Miss fans, players, coaches all want to win, but there weren't many people that gave Ole Miss much of a shot in this game. And they came out here and played their tails off.
They really did.
The Gators' first road trip of the year, they come away with the big victory over Ole Miss. Coach, gut check time there in that second half.
Yeah, I'm not sure how smart we are right now, but we're going to go like we always do, enjoy that win and we'll get a little better. But I'm not sure how smart we are right now.
Well, Coach, what did you like, though, that second half? What did you see from your team that they showed you the toughness?
We got to be very careful. You're living in dangerous waters with that Tebow runs, and he's the toughest human being there is. So, I know I have a tendency in Dan Mullen, and we got to make sure because Kestahn Moore is running the ball, and we just got to be careful.
Coach, I know when I talked to you at halftime, the penalties. I know that was on your mind. I know that's something you're going to go work on next week.
Yeah, that falls into that intelligence factor that I'm talking about. I don't think we just got to get it. Just get learning, the score, whatever it was, 30-24, walk out of here, but we got to get a lot better.
Coach, offensively, Percy Harvin, we saw again that escapability in the big plays by Percy.
Yeah, he's dynamic, and we have some other dynamic guys we got to utilize a bit better.
Thank you, Coach. The Gators get their first road win of the year.